Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So it's a Monday, and as you know, it's been a little while, so apologies. We didn't really have any of the collection over the January period. I was too busy with other stuff. Life gets in the way. So we've restarted up, so we're at episode 32. So that's what you've come to for. That's what you have come to this channel for. So let's get into it. And today's episode, we have Lee's two shelves. So let's just step back. We finished the final row of this start of the wall. And as I pull in, you'll see we have this cabinet. There's 4 of them, and then we've got that cabinet and that cabinet there to go. So quite a few to keep us going for this year. Let's try and put a bit of light on the subject. That'll make it a little bit better. Oh, apologies, I'm knocking stuff behind me down. That's never a good start. So we shall start with here. So we have Spaceballs. I did quite like this movie. It's very, very funny. I'm not the biggest Mel Brooks fan, but I did think it was quite funny. Let me put that there. That's the problem. Then we go to Space Chimps, an animated movie. Quite good. Me and my friend played the first game of this, and it was quite fun for the Xbox. I think 360 back in the day. And then we have Space Chimps 2. Always the sequel was not the greatest, but not too bad. Then Space Jam. Michael Jordan, who didn't love this. Never got to see this at the cinema, but I do quite like this, revisited a few times, I think a few years ago. So then Spanglish, a very good Adam Sandler movie, not your kind of typical one from him, about his maid and that, but I still think it's quite good. Tia Leone in it as well. Then we have Spark. This was a cheap one I got to last year that I watched animated, and again, seems to be a very monkey theme around the S's. It was alright as movies go, not the greatest. Then we move into some series. So we have Spartacus. I've seen all of this. This is Blood and Sand and Gods of the Arena. So Blood and Sand is the first season with the main guy who passed, I think, leukemia. And then obviously they did the prequel series while I hoped you got a bit of Gods of the Arena. Still a good series. Then obviously we have Liam McIntyre, who took over the reins in Vengeance. I have seen all this. Do need to revisit this with my friends. There he is, and War of the Dam, which is the final one of that series. Then we have, you might see AJ's Movie Place has had this up recently. Spawn. I do really like this movie. I know it's cheesy and around up budget and stuff, but I still like it. Do quite like the character as well. Then we have Species, Natasha Henstred, I think her name is. Yeah, about kind of an alien trying to kind of mate with the human population to expand her species. And then if I can try and get the final one is Speed. There we go, they are all back. I may cut that out. So then we have Speed Racer, the Wachowskis. See there, I think this was the follow-up to The Matrix, what they had. I didn't mind this. Obviously, it didn't do that well, but it is what it is. Sphere. Watched it when I was a kid, really liked it. Obviously the stickers are a pain, I need to get some stuff in there, but I haven't rewatched it in a long time, so definitely want to put in a pile. Then we have Spider-Man, the kind of one of the earlier movies to start the superhero franchise off in the 90s. Then we have Spider-Man 2 Special Edition, massive thing. Then the Blu-ray of Spider-Man 3. So I'm all over the shop of what versions I have for these. Then obviously my favourite, Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield's. And then 2, The Amazing Spider-Man, unfortunately wasn't as amazing as they had. And then we obviously have Into the Spider-Verse. I say I didn't mind it. As you probably well know, you see my channels, I have problems with some of the graphics and styles they use. Then we have, obviously, big fan of Michael J. Fox. So this is Spin City Season 1 I got last year. Region 1, I think it is all on the Channel 4 app, but I do want to revisit at some point. Just a lot of other series that I haven't seen to go back to. Then we have Spirit, I believe. Bryan Adams did a song for this. I quite liked it. It's not the best anime. Then we have Splash, Tom Hanks, Daryl Hannah, can't go wrong. Splice Adrian Brody in a very yeah, that shows it all. There is some weird story plots in that movie. I will give it that. Spotlight, not to watch. Have heard a lot of good things about it, still have not got around to watching it. Spring Breakers, have watched. It is a really weird movie. Yeah, not James Franco's finest movie that he's done. Spy, I didn't mind this. I know not everybody's a Melissa McCarthy fan, but I thought it was very much silly in places, and I thought, you know, she can be. She wasn't too annoying. And Spy Kids 1, seen it back in the day. Spy Kids 2, liked it. Obviously, labels had a bit of a battering, and then a massive edition of Spy Kids 3D. Maybe this is one series I need to upgrade. Obviously, 75p. Spy Games, never seen it. Then Stand By Me, classic movie, Jerry O'Connell. Obviously like him from Sliders, so really liked him in this. Then we go down this side. So we've got Strander. I'm still knocking stuff off. Then we have Stardust. Charlie Cox, I believe, one of his early ones, yep. Then Stargate, so this is the movie that the TV series is based on with James Spader. I like this film. I haven't seen it in a long time. Then SG Universe, obviously I think they only made 1 or 2 series and cancelled. I really actually quite like this. Yeah, it's a shame it got cancelled, but it is what it is. Again, Stargirl Season 1. Like this. Did like this. A bit of a change. Season 2. And then obviously they haven't released Season 3, which is a pain. DC, get on it. Star Kid. If you remember a kid who finds like a weaponized suit. Goes on a kind of rampage. I believe he's the kid from Jurassic Park. The young lad. Then we have the Starship Troopers trilogy. Hoo-ha! Did really like this. I like the first one. The second one gets a bit far-fetched. And then obviously, I think this is the 4th one, Invasion, which was kind of an animated one with still real good. Start for 10. James McAvoy is a kind of a student, kind of intelligent. It was alright. Kind of a cheesy one. Then we get into obviously Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan. You obviously know where Lee's are going, and then we have, I don't know what a funny in front of us, and that is 3, The Search for Spock. Right, pausing it here. Then we move down to the next pile of stuff. So let's do 4, The Voyage Home, and The Final Frontier, which I quite like. I think that's the Doctor one where he gives a pill. 6. The Undiscovered Country. Then obviously what would have been 7, so this is Generations. I quite like the later ones. Again, it's something I've not really revisited. Maybe something I need to, or get a box at First Contact. I think that can be quite a few people's favourites. Insurrection, don't even recall that one. I say I was probably more grown up on Next Generation, the early one, than Nemesis. Obviously Tom Hardy as an evil young Picard. Then we've got the newer franchise, so Chris Pine. Again, I didn't mind this new iteration of it, and obviously Benedict Cumberbatch, Into Darkness. And then Idris Elba, I believe. Yep, Beyond Darkness. Again, they're movies that I've seen, I liked. So there's so much hype sometimes around them. Then obviously Star Wars, we have the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. I've tried to put these all in order as best I can. So then we have the animated series, the Clone Wars Volume 1, Clone Wars Volume 2, then the complete Season 1 of the Clone Wars. Right, and then we go here, and then we have Clone Wars Season 2. Oh my god, Clone Wars Season 3. Clone Wars Season 4. See, I didn't mind this. I quite like this animated kind of style and stuff as they become into their own animated 5. And then you have kind of, I think this was a movie. It's kind of titled. Then obviously there is the 3rd film. Then we have a box set 4, 5, and 6. So as you see, Star Wars and Star Trek takes a big chunk. Then we have episode 7, episode 8, episode 9. Then yeah, I know Rogue One should probably sit back at 2, and then Solo, and that's all I own of that. Then we have obviously State of Play. I have seen it because the label's up, but I cannot remember it. Right. Then we have Stay. Oh, this is kind of the whole personalities, are they, aren't they? Psychological thriller kind of. It got a good little twist. Stay Alive, where you play a game. Haven't ever got round to seeing this, so I don't know. Stealing Harvard, a very silly Tom Green movie with Jason Lee. It was okay. Stealth, I quite like this. Quite like the premise of it. It was a nice little sci-fi movie in the early 2000s. Then the classic St. Elmo's Fire. Not a bad movie. I only rewatched it again like 5-6 years ago. But then the comedian Stephen Lynch, region 1 of his one. I did like him back in the day. Have never really heard much of him since. Right. Let's see if we can move these down. So then we have Step Brothers. It was an alright movie. Stephen Merchant, this is my wife, she quite likes him, so I've not seen it. Step Up, Channing Tatum. It was alright. And then 2, I'm not sure if that's hers or mine. I don't think I've seen it. I may have seen it. There's no label on it, so I probably have. Same as it was. Steve Jobs was alright. I preferred Jobs. Personally, I thought this was a far better movie. This is just more fixated about certain points of his life rather than the whole thing. Stigmata. Didn't mind this back in the day. Gabriel Bryan, I thought he's quite a good actor. Stomp the Yard, never seen it. I don't think I've seen it. Dance ones. Stop or My Mum Will Shoot. Very, very funny. I think I've watched this recently and it wasn't as funny as I remember it being as a kid, but it is what it is. Noel Clarke, Storage 24 with the aliens. Yeah, it's alright. Not his greatest work. Storks. It was an alright animated movie. Had a few funny points. I quite like the wolves and where they make the submarine and that near the end. Obviously a book to film, Stormbreaker. Had potential, but yeah, it just felt flat. I thought very much so. Stranger Than Fiction, actually a really, really good Will Ferrell movie. Where he kind of hears somebody narrating his life. Very, very interesting. Then we have Stray Dogs. I believe this is a remake from the original. It was alright. I can't remember if I've seen the original or not, so I can't really comment about that. Then we have Strays. Vin Diesel movie. Cannot remember it. In all fairness. So I have no idea. And then we get to the final 3. So Strings. I watched this last year after many, many years having it. It's very, very ingenious how it is done. It's an alright. If you like puppeteers, it's very intriguing and very... I can see why it got a lot of awards and stuff. It's very complicated. Then we had that classic 90s Street Fighter movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Kylie Minogue. And then the final one on this is The Legend of Chun-Li, a kind of follow-up movie. Very, very poor. And there we go. That is everything. So we're still quite a lot of episodes to go. Hopefully this will more or less tip out by the end of this year. I imagine it's probably another 20 or 30, including like stuff like here. I say there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 videos there, and I imagine... and stuff, so hopefully I'll get through to this and it'll finish by the end of the year. We'll have a complete overview of the collection. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed this little video. I've been Cypher Sigma Screen Time. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things you want to do. Hope you're staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.